Hello, everyone, and welcome. I see our very punctual attendees, which is always great to have you with us. And today, as you know, we are talking about energy system, ecosystem, and studying these subjects in Germany, which is really interesting, even though it's a bit far from my field because I studied international relations, very common thing in Georgia, but still I'm very, very interested in the programs that we would present today, and I'm looking forward to all the speakers. And yes, we now see Ms. Schindler also joined with the camera. So thank you very much all for your time, first of all, because as Sibe and I were saying that during the teaching period, it's always very precious to have professors themselves joining us and having time to discuss the programs interactively and being open to us answer your questions. So for those, I doubt there are some people who don't know me because I'm usually hosting the webinars. But if you don't know me yet, my name is Nino. I'm from Georgia, currently in Bremen. I was an international student here in Germany, so I'm always very happy to share my own experience since I would say I went through the very I went through all these difficulties in terms of bureaucracy, visa, and other things. I did not have any of the waivers, so I'm always very happy to share my own experience. However, today we highly encourage you to pose questions related to the study programs because not always professors, their colleagues are having time to answer them live or interact in Q&A. I already see the first Q&A, which is great, and thank you, and continue. And one more favor to ask would be to, if you are interested in particular program, because they were mentioned on our webpage and advertised and in the emails as well. So it would be nice if you could mention the program name to which you are referring to so that you get the best answer possible. Anyways, I won't take long here and ask Sibe, my great colleague, to please introduce herself and MyGermanUniversity. And then I will have a small introduction about the field of study in general. And then, of course, it will be super short because we have our precious speakers today.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining the webinar today. So before we dive into talking about the 3 study programs today, I just want to sort of introduce you a bit more about what MyGermanUniversity is and the main service we offer that could potentially help you during your way to find universities in Germany. So first thing first, we offered Study Finder. This is our very own search engine, and it is the largest English speaking programs database. So, compared to other study search engine out there like Studentenkolleg or, the DAAD, what we really focus on mainly is programs in Germany that is taught in English. So if you want to study in Germany, but do your study program in English, this is a great place to start to find the programs you might be interested in. You could play around with the filters, for example, the city you want to study in, or whether you want to go to a public or private universities. So next thing is the articles we provide. So all these articles on our website are written by either students who have studied in Germany or people who have worked in the German higher education system. So if you want to know a little bit more about the more general topics about studying in Germany, for example, like visa applications or Uni Assist, this is a great place to get a little bit more knowledge about how those things work. Last but not least, we also offered over 150 webinars every year. So we have webinars pretty much every week. They are either general webinars on topics such as scholarships or visa applications or COVID whatsoever, or we also have, subject webinars like the one we have today about specific study programs, and we would invite special guests to talk about them as well. So if you want a little bit more interactions, or if some of the topics might interest you more, feel free to check out our webinar page and sign up for one of our future webinars. Last but not least, just a really quick short introduction about MyGermanUniversity. So we are a startup company based in Hamburg, Germany, but we have our student consultants from everywhere in the world. That's why we are also able to offer webinars in different languages and consultants in different languages as well. We are a free services, which means that we are offering our articles, search engines, and our webinars all for free. We do not charge students for them. And I will be linking our contact information later on in the chat box as well. So if you have any questions whatsoever about either MyGermanUniversity or how to study in Germany or whatnot, you could also find us via email or via our Facebook and Instagram page. I think that is it from my side. Now me and Nina would be in the background moderating the webinar. So for today, I see we have plenty of participants. So we will try to answer most of the questions in the Q&A. If you're interested in any of the specific programs that we presented today, as Nino mentioned before, make sure you put the name of the programs in the Q&A box again, so we could answer your specific questions as well. Also, don't forget to keep an eye on the chat box. Even though you cannot really use the chat function, we will be posting important links and informations in the chat as well. Hope you enjoyed today's webinar.
Thank you, Sibei. Let me also quickly share my screen. And as you already saw from the screen, we have 4 special guests today from 3 different universities. I will introduce them individually in a moment. However, here you can see the overview of programs, and I hope that some of you, or maybe all of you, will apply to one of these programs and start your next semester already in Germany. All right, before we start, just a small overview of studying energy systems and ecosystem in Germany. Where can you find the programs? What are the databases? Sibei has already shown you our study finder, which is in my background as well. However, there's another very useful page, which is Hochschullkompass. And you can see that there are 62-degree programs for energy system, ecosystem offered by Hochschullkompass. The difference between these 2 study finders is that Hochschullkompass usually has a full or comprehensive database for German taught programs. And you can see there are 24 programs in English. However, if you are the one who wants to study in English, as for example I did, and maybe improve your German skills already in Germany, then you can use our study finder, where you can find 40-degree programs. And here is a breakdown for Bachelor, 36 for Master program. And another breakdown is English only. What does it mean? This means that sometimes maybe the course is 60 or 70% in English. However, there are seminars which are in German, so the German language is also required. If you are the one who wants to exclude this German component when applying, this is also possible. You can use no German skills needed when using our filters in the study finder. All right. Also, for those who is just wondering, or if you are wondering, what does this field mean, or what are the general overview of universities, tuition fees, application and admission process in the field of energy system and ecosystem, and you are just browsing or want to have an overview, you can use our subject page, which we will share also in a chat. And this subject page gives you a rough overview of, we hope, the information you may need to decide, do you want to study it or not. And this also includes rankings. However, as students, we always advise to look at international rankings, however, not be guided by them only, because as students, you know better what is best for you. Maybe you are searching for a specific study program or a professor or a seminar, or maybe tuition fees are very important to you. So create your own ranking and rank universities according to your desires. This would be our pro tip. However, everything is upon you and the decision maker. You are the one, so we just can advise and you can decide. Just a rough overview about the German higher education system. Roughly saying, there are two types of universities. The first one is university, another one is universities of applied sciences. And both types have programs offered for energy system and ecosystem. Can you see on the slide there are 16 programs offered by universities, which also includes technical universities. And there are also 16 programs offered by universities of applied sciences. Why do we have this division, and what's the biggest difference? Actually, there is not much, but professors are here, so they can correct me if I'm making any mistake. As we usually say, that the biggest difference is about the focus of studies. So universities are more research or theory oriented, and universities of applied sciences will be more practice or application oriented. Earlier, there was a difference about PhD degrees, but this is not relevant anymore. As for the study finder, once again, when you're searching for a program, for example, in the field of energy system and an ecosystem, not every individual program is called Master of Energy System or Master of Ecology or Ecosystem. So the naming can be different, play around with the words. Here are some of the examples on the slide, how the program can be named. What you need to do is just use correct filter in our study finder, and the program or system will give you all the relevant results automatically. And yeah, so we have, I will stop my long speech now, and I will introduce our first speakers, which is Christian Beuter and Dr. Katrin Meyer. And it's the University of Göttingen, and they will be talking about Master Forest and Ecosystem Sciences. Here is a small map so that you can locate your future university, and we can also show you university outlook or the international outlook of the university, so that you know when you go there you can speak freely English and people will understand you. So let me stop sharing my screen, and I'm very happy to give the floor to our speakers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nino and Sibey, for giving such a nice introduction here. I'm going to talk for the University of Göttingen here today, and give me a moment to share that. So this is about the Forest and Ecosystem Sciences Master Program, which is actually quite new. We just started it last year. It's the second round now. So we do have some experience with it, but it's also brand new material in here. And I really very warmly want to welcome you here from the middle of Germany, as you saw, from the University of Göttingen. I'm originally a biologist by training, and I'm now here at the University of Göttingen at the Faculty of Forest Sciences and Forest Ecology for 10 years now. Yeah, and my colleague Christian Beuter is dedicated study advisor for this study program, and I'm on the one hand a lecturer in this program, and on the other hand I'm a scientific coordinator for one of these study tracks that I'll show you. Yeah, and today I want to convince you that this is really about more than just forest. But it's of course also about forests, and there I would like you to ask a question for me. We've prepared a poll here. And maybe Nini, you can start that. Who of you has ever been in the forest, or have you ever been in the forest? Yeah, please, if you want, please answer yes or no, click yes or no if you can see the poll now.
Just a second.
Yeah. I think now you should see it.
We need to change the settings.
Yeah, now we are coming there. Okay. Yeah, so I see here that 92% have been in the forest, 7% not. So thanks for that. And especially for those who have been in the forest before, I think we share this feeling when we look at pictures like this one, that it's a great feeling. This is a view from the top on the Hainich Forest, which is close to Göttingen here. Yeah, so this is a destination for excursions, for example. And it's how it looks like at the moment in autumn. Forests are also the basis of life for millions of people. Yeah, so different, and this is worldwide. But they also, of course, have to cope with many challenges. And one of the big challenges nowadays is the climate change. No? We are all aware of that. We saw the news about wildfires in forests, about droughts, about wind throws. And on top of that, there are other challenges like pests, which kill forests, as you see on the top left. But how can we address these challenges? Yeah, and my answer would be to by understanding these forest ecosystems and doing that to be able to sustainably manage these forests. And of course, my second answer would be study this Master of Forest and Ecosystem Science. So what is this now about? It's been designed for you if you are a bachelor graduate from one of these many topic areas, yeah, forestry, ecology, environmental sciences, resource management, ecosystem management, life sciences, applied computer sciences, and many similar topics, not only these ones. And if you're also interested in forest ecosystem and sustainable forest management worldwide, and if you're looking for a balanced and interesting and also worthwhile study program. Yeah, so these are just some impressions from our studies here. Lectures and seminars are given. There are exercises and tutorials outside and inside the classroom, and this can involve also excursions outside. This study program consists of 3 study tracks. Yeah, and if you go for this master, you have to choose one of these study tracks with a set of mandatory modules and elective modules, but you can choose these elective modules from the other study tracks. Yeah, so you can mix to a certain degree between these 3 study tracks, but you have to choose one for the mandatory modules, and that's Ecosystem Analysis and Modeling, EAM, Ecosystem Sciences, ES, and the more applied one, Tropical and International Forestry. I want to give you a bit of an overview of what to expect in these 3 different study tracks. This is now Ecosystem Analysis and Modeling. I won't go into detail here because you can also find these information online. Just to give you an idea of how the studies are structured. The yellow background boxes are the mandatory modules, and the first row is the first semester, the last row is the 4th semester, which is dedicated to your master thesis. And just before the master thesis in the 3rd semester, a project is dedicated to the preparation for the master thesis or to some other topics. You are free to choose that. You see there's some space for elective modules, and the first 2 semesters are really the basis for the whole studies. And for this Ecosystem Analysis and Modeling study track, where I'm the scientific coordinator, this is really dedicated to quantitative skills. So there's an introduction to modeling in ecology, to biodiversity measurement, and always accompanied by the, in the 2nd semester, advanced courses on the same topic. There's statistics with R, if you're familiar with this R programming language already, that helps, and we will dive deeper with advanced data analysis with R. And there's much more. Yeah. So what you can expect in this study track are these advanced quantitative skills. programming, simulation modeling, statistics, also ecological theory building. So if you are really interested in ecology and understanding how the mechanisms work together, then this would be probably your study track. But this is not only theoretical, there are also hands-on approaches on topics like global change, climate warming, land use change, biodiversity threats, conservation management, and more. And you'll get a lot of analytical skills that are not only worthwhile if you want to do modeling also or statistics, but also in many other regions, especially if you want to go for an academic career. You're very well prepared here. The second study track, ecosystem sciences, are really at the heart of ecosystem sciences. Yeah, so this master is called Forest and Ecosystem Sciences, and so this is really the heart. You see, it looks similar to the other study tracks, so we try to always have these similar types of structures for these study tracks. Master thesis at the end, at the bottom here, and in the third semester, this project. And then you also see in the first semester, in the first row, that some of these mandatory modules in this light yellow shade are shared with the first study track that I just showed you. But that's only some of them. Many of the others are own study subjects, such as soil physical and biochemical processes. There's bioclimatology, that's a very important topic for us here. And very classic ecological topics like community ecology and biodiversity. This second study track, there the center is to study terrestrial ecosystems from the molecule to the landscape level, and always with the forest as a background, but not necessarily. Yeah, it's terrestrial ecosystems in general. So that's where we are more than just forests. It's a research-based training, so we always include our own research into our classes and give you opportunities to actually join these classes. It's interdisciplinary, international, and relatively small study groups. Yeah, so at the moment we have always in these two study tracks we have maybe 10 to 15 persons. Yeah, so it's actually a very nice working environment. And also here you get a lot of analytical skills, comprehensive knowledge. For the third study track, this is now getting even more hands-on. This is very practical oriented, applied, and the structure again is the same. Before you can go for the project and the master thesis, you have these 2 semesters of basic modules, and this is on tropical and international forestry. But there's also topics such as international forest policy and economics that are covered with a mandatory module, monitoring of forest resources, but also something like project planning and evaluation. And here you see that it's really hands-on and practical. What is really special about this, I'll show you here. That's actually the 4th point in this list, is the interdisciplinary students project abroad. Yeah, so all students of one cohort will always go on a project, travel abroad, and actually analyze one bit of forest together in a big project and write that up as if they had to do it in a professional job. This here you can expect to gain comprehensive multidisciplinary skills with this study track, a lot of practical experience to design these silvicultural and ecologically sound management systems. And yeah, as I say, this also covers many different approaches and challenges such as climate change. Deforestation is also a problem, of course, but also landscape restoration schemes are also covered here. And it's a very multicultural environment, especially in this third study track, but actually also in the first 2 ones. Yeah, we've already seen Göttingen is in the center of Germany. Sorry, this is our main building at the top, and at the bottom you see a view on the beautiful little student town. I think it has a lot to offer if you like a typical academic university town in Germany. So if you've seen, maybe you know Heidelberg or so, it's probably not that far from the feeling. Yeah, as you see here with these little roads or streets. Let's talk a bit about our Faculty of Forest Sciences and Forest Ecology here, where this study program is based. We have about 1,300 students in total, yeah, on spread over bachelor, master's, and PhD programs. There are 230 employees here, and of which 22 are professors, which each have their own research department. So it's a very diverse community here, and you have lots of options for projects and internships here. We have different study programs, and apparently we have one of the largest forestry-related library here on campus, here in one of our 5 buildings. Yeah, so apparently it's one of the largest, at least in the German-speaking area. We are very experienced with international cooperation and partner universities around the world since the 1980s. You see a red dot wherever there has been or is currently a cooperation. And if you go for this master program, we envision many different career options. Yeah, and this could be simply a scientific career and universities, as I mentioned before, but also a career in planning and consultancy offices. If you go for the first study track, IT-related work might be an option for you. Especially for the third study track, tropical and international forestry, companies related to the timber industry or environment and restoration might be interesting. The environmental sector might be a career option for all of the study tracks, so state authorities, NGOs, project work, but also state forest institutions, private forest companies, and finally, of course, international organizations. It's an international study program, and also international development cooperation can be one career option here. Just one slide on formalities, just briefly, yeah. So you need a relevant bachelor's degree of at least 6 semesters long. You need a proof of English knowledge at the level B2. Yeah, you see here the different tests and the criteria there. It's a restricted admission for 50 study places in total for all study tracks together. And there's an online application with the deadlines that you see here for non-EU, EU, and also for those who want to apply for a DAAD scholarship, but this only applies for the third study track, the Tropical International Forestry TIF. If you want more information, just look at our web pages, and this is probably also where Christian Beuter can answer all the questions. Yeah, and with this, I hope I gave you a little bit of an overview of this study program. I'm very happy to take your questions at the end or in the meantime here. And with this picture actually from this week in the Göttingen forest here, or close to the Göttingen forest actually, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. Thanks.
Thank you very, very much. It was really interesting and also interactive. And yeah, I already noted down some of the questions, but let us have the other speakers' presentations as well. And then at the end, we will dedicate some of the time to the Q&A. But as a spoiler, so to say, I had one question about work perspectives, which was already answered. So maybe some other questions will come up. So thank you again. And could you please stop sharing the screen? Oh, yeah. Perfect. Right now, I would like to introduce as our second guest, or like third guest, because we had 2 representatives from University of Göttingen, and this is Professor Dr. Hinz, and your second prospective university, Frankfurt University of Applied Sciences. And today we already had some questions about Master Renewable Energy. So I think the presentation will be very interesting to those who were asking those questions. So Professor, the floor is yours, and thank you again for your time.
Okay, thank you for this nice introduction. I share my screen, and I hope that you can see my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, we can.
That's fine. Just I change into presentation mode.
Perfect, so, thank you.
Good afternoon from Frankfurt. My name is Hartmut Hinz. I will introduce here the new study program offered by our university. It is a master's program entitled Renewable Energy. And so, something's going wrong. No. Before I start, I will give you some key facts about our university. You see here a picture of our campus. We have currently more than 15,000 students from over 100 countries. We offer 70 degree courses in 4 faculties, and we have in total over 270 lecturers and 730 employees. And we also have 16 scientific institutes. And finally, what I want to say here, we have about 200 partner universities spread all over the world. So the question which you are asking is, why should I study renewable energy? So for this reason, I've listed here the main issues. I guess you are all familiar with these questions. Most estimates predict that the global energy requirements will double by the year 2050. In addition, global greenhouse gas emissions must be reduced by the mid-century to less than half of the level of 1990. And therefore, in long term, fossil fuels are unable to meet the rising demand for energy. Consequently, a transition towards a decarbonized economy is mandatory. So we can choose either nuclear power or renewable energies. And due to the problems of the waste disposal, I guess we know this. The option for the future is, of course, renewable energy. And in this context, I want to just repeat here the key results of the Paris Agreement. This was the outcome of the 2015 climate change conference. And the key result is that we all need to achieve to limit the global warming to less than 1.5 degrees C compared to the pre-industrial level. So that means we have to gradually reduce the use of fossil fuels to zero, probably. And this means that we need to convert the power supply completely to renewable energies. So what does it mean? So for us as a university, we have to face these requirements since the industry needs ambitious and well-qualified graduates. So for this reason, we offer this new master program, Renewable Energy, and we will start next year, 2022, with this program. And we offer this program into 2 options. First, we have the we offer the opportunity to choose the 3-semester study program. So what are the requirements for the admission of these programs? You need first a professional university degree in electrical engineering, the focus on power engineering or a comparable field with an overall grade of good, meaning 2.5 or better, and 210 credit points. Since this is an English taught course, you need, of course, also prove your English language skills. And if you do not have a bachelor degree with a focus on power engineering, you're also welcome here in this master program. And for this, students, we offer the 4-semester study program. And this is suitable for all bachelor, for all students with a bachelor degree in electrical engineering or a comparable field with a similar grade of good, and only 180 credit points. And so therefore this study program is attractive for both. And on the next slide, I have some problems here with the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, on the next slide, I want to show you the basic arrangement of our course of study. Also here, I don't want to go into too much details. I just want to show you what we want to offer you. We have here in the 3-semester study program in the first semester modules which discuss simulation of power system, power control of renewable energy system, energy efficient drives, and biomass. And also we offer here in the first semester a project, Renewable Energy Project 1, plus project management. And in the second semester, we have also the modules in this field: renewable energy integration and smart grids, flexible power generation and storage, environmental assessments, electromobility, and we offer in the second semester a renewable energy project 2. And these both projects you can work in current research projects, or you can also go in the industry here in the area around Frankfurt. And this is very attractive, we think. And finally, in the third semester, you write your master thesis and make your colloquium. And this you can also do at our university or in the industry. Both is possible. So, and this is the program for the 3 semester option. And if you, as I told you, if you have not a bachelor degree in electrical power engineering, then you can choose the 4 semester option. And it looks quite similar to that of the 3 semester option. The only difference which you can see is that we offer here an additional semester. This is the first semester, so this is an initial semester where you learn the required knowledge which you need to understand the topics in the second and third semester. As I explained it here, you see that we offer here the missing knowledge in power electronics and control theory, electric power systems, electric machines, renewable energy, basic knowledge in renewable energy. And we offer also very interesting module, cultural diversity and business ethics, and finally, energy economics. So if you have, for example, a bachelor degree in automation technology or information technology, and you are interested in this renewable energy program, then you can also study this renewable energy, but you have to choose the 4 semester option. So if you study this program, then you ask, what are you qualified for? So this program qualifies graduates for jobs in, I've listed here the main or the most important fields. First, you can work in the field of renewable energies or related disciplines, of course. And you can work in companies involved in energy production, distribution, and application of renewable energy. And you can work in research institutions and organizations working on energy system transformation issues at regional, national, and also international level. And this university degree gives access to undertake also doctoral studies. And what are the fields of activities? You can work in system design, you can work in applied research and development. Probably you can work also in project management or program management. If you are good, you will be also a team leader. And if you like, you can also work in the field of consulting and probably several other fields which I do not listed here. So why study in Frankfurt? Frankfurt is a very modern and nice city. I would say probably the most beautiful city in Germany. And you see here a view on a famous skyline. It is full of culture and offers attractive leisure programs and so on. Therefore, I would say Frankfurt is a nice place to be and also a nice place to study. And if you have further questions, then you can contact me via email or even after this presentation. And therefore, I would say thank you for your attention. Okay.
Thank you very much for the presentation and for also having this detailed information for students. So I'm sure some of them will apply to the study program and will be really happy to be part of the program. Right now, let me share my screen once again and introduce to you our third very special guest, Ms. Lydia Schindler, who is head of international marketing. Again, another prospective university, which is Offenburg University of Applied Sciences. And again, we are traveling all around Germany here on the map. We had already several locations. So the there were questions already about renewable energy and data engineering program. So Ms. Schindler, also thanks for participating in Q&A box, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for this possibility to present our programs here, the English taught programs at Offenburg University, especially our program Renewable Energy and Data Engineering. I will share my screen with you so that you can also see my presentation. My name is Lydia Schindler. I'm working here at the Graduate School of Offenburg University. Do you see the screen now? Everything fine?
Yes, we see, but not in a presenter mode.
Not yet?
We see the screen, but
the
we
wrong
can also...
one. Okay, I see the presenting mode. So let me try again. Can you see it now?
Unfortunately not, but I don't think it's a problem.
Okay, I'll try to make it bigger then at least so that you have a better view. Sorry. This
perfect.
way?
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, I want to invite you to have a look at Offenburg University and its international master's degree programs. You already mentioned where we are located. So it's in the southwest corner of Germany. It's a very touristic region. At the same time, maybe you've heard of the Black Forest region. So many tourists come for the beautiful landscape and scenery to us, but it's also one of the most prosperous and economically well being regions of Germany, right next to France and Switzerland. So Offenburg University is situated, as the name already says, in Offenburg, and there's a second campus also in Gengenberg. You see here the old Benedictine monastery, which hosts our second campus in Gengenbach here on this picture. And yeah, it's a very cross-national metropolitan area. As I said, close to the two borders, and we work closely together with universities from the different countries. And it's a very dynamic region with high employment prospects. So it's not only a good place to choose to study, but it's also a good place to choose to live afterwards. And you can already build up your connections with the industry, with the companies here in this region while you're studying via practical trainings and so on, for example. And I personally enjoy the high living standard that we have here. Offenburg is a quite small town with about 60,000 inhabitants only, but it has everything you need, all the institutions, the shops, everything, universities, schools, and so on. And it's, you know, very easy to take public transport, but also you can do basically everything by bike or even by foot because the ways are short, and I enjoy that very much. So if you look at Offenburg University, it's a university of technology, business, and media. Those are the three areas we are concentrating on. We were founded in 1964 and offer practice-oriented studies. Nowadays, we have around 4,500 students enrolled, and about 12% of them are international students. About half of our programs are bachelor, the other ones are master programs, with more than 80 universities worldwide cooperating. So it's very important to us to have this international atmosphere here at the campus, but also that our students go abroad. And we have a very spacious enterprise network that our students also profit from, and a very safe and friendly environment. I personally feel very secure to walk in the streets of the town at any time of the night and day. So this is something that our students enjoy a lot too. And I'm sure if you decide to come here, you will the same. But let me talk a little bit more about the facilities that you will find here. So if you come, you will see that we have very well-equipped laboratories and facilities, and they are not only here for our professors or assistants, people who are working here, but for our students, as I said, we are an application-oriented. We have application-oriented studies, therefore we want you to try out what you learn in theory in your classes in the laboratories. You will work in them, you will work in teams, and you will have your task and you do your research in these laboratories. As we have this close connection with the industry, you also will have the possibility to find practical trainings around in this region. And I think something that you will enjoy a lot if you decide to study at Offenburg, that we have a small student-teacher ratio. So if you come here to our international master's degree programs especially, you can be sure that we have small batches with around 15 to 25 students that we select every year. And we do not admit more people because we want you to have this personal contact with the professors. And these professors, and this is also specific to universities of applied sciences, our professors have at least 3 years of experience outside of the university in a private company, private industry. And therefore they can bring this experience back to the university and share this experience with you, with our students. So this is something that would be very important for me if I choose where to study. Nevertheless, there is a possibility to pursue a doctoral degree here at Offenburg University in cooperation with universities here in this region. We have around 40 PhD students with us right now. And renewable energy is actually one of the strongest focuses in research here at Offenburg University. Now, let me go a little bit more into the programs themselves. So you can see here, those are the programs that we offer at the graduate school of Offenburg University. They are all taught in English. The first one, Communication Media Engineering, has even won the prize top MBA, top international master's degree programs in Germany years ago. So those programs are very successful. Our MBA program, International Business Consulting, also very many years, very successful international programs where students apply and come from all over the world. So we always have a very international student body. This is the same for the program. I want to go a little bit deeper into it now, our Renewable Energy and Data Engineering program. So this focuses on energy systems, smart grids, and underlying algorithms, and modern IT and data engineering methods. And I think that's the one you are most interested in. We actually had it adapted just about 1 year ago, because the professors are always in close contact with the market, with the companies in the industry. And they realized that nowadays it's not only necessary to have knowledge about energy generation and conversion, but the energy nets are becoming more and more important. And therefore the market needs professionals that are able to combine the knowledge of energy generation and conversions with data engineering methods and IT knowledge, because you need to administer these energy nets and so on. And therefore, they have combined and set up a program that combines perfectly these two areas that are needed in the future energy market. So this is a program I will focus on a little bit also in the next slide, but I also want to to mention the other programs here, because I think process engineering, for example, is also a program that's related to energy. You should have a different background for this one, while renewable energy and data engineering is more designed for people coming from mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer science. So depending which focus you were studying in. But process engineering is for chemical engineers, for example, and similar areas. And you may also work, for example, in the area of energy in thermal process engineering, for example, so creating energy with biological waste or something like that. And not last but not least, I also want to mention our two other programs here on this list, biotechnology and enterprise and IT security, also very interesting English taught programs here at the Graduate School of Offenburg University. But I guess you're more interested in renewable energy and data engineering. Therefore, I want to go a little bit deeper into that. So if you look at the energy sector, it is facing huge challenges nowadays. It's a growing energy demand, more distributed and renewable energy sources, and they're less centralized and fossil sources. And therefore, it's becoming more and more complex. The liberalized energy markets with more and more stakeholders demand more systems and new technologies to manage and to interconnect with each other. And therefore you need, as I mentioned before, people who are combining this knowledge from mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and also IT, because you need them to manage the growing complexity. There's a need of a combination of profound power system and understanding, and at the same time, modern IT and data engineering methods. So that's exactly what you obtain by studying renewable energy and data engineering at Offenburg University. Yes, if you're interested more into detail, what are the subjects of this program, I would suggest you to have a look at our website and check the whole study program and its modules. And if you have any further question, you can turn always to me or to the coordinator of the program. They are the ones who can give you detailed information about the subjects and so on. But I also want to mention the support services that we have for international students here at Offenburg University. So if you come here, you will get assistance in finding accommodation. There will be orientation events. There will be a senior student who will help you find your way around during the first few weeks and answer your questions. There will be a coordinator that's there for you and always advises you through the whole time of your study programs when you need. So you have an individual support there. We encourage you to participate in our German summer language course in September, which is a great start to start your studies at Offenburg University with, because you will get to know each other, have fun together, and learn German. And we also encourage you to continue with the language courses during the lecture period. And we offer you a social program, a cultural program, that because we want you to come here and be successful in your studies, but we also want you to have a great experience here, to get to know the people, to have contact, to integrate with German peoples of Offenburg, and so on. You have the sport facilities, and you may participate in the many outdoor sports that we offer. For example, the lake next by, you can go sailing or into the mountains, mountain biking, and so on. And we also have a very great atmosphere here in the city of Offenburg, and more than 80 senior citizens of Offenburg actually joined in a group of people, and they just do that on a voluntary basis. And they said, we want to welcome the international students here in Offenburg and give them a nice welcome, help them to get to know something else than only the university, and, get them to know families and our culture. So it's really a great place to study. And yes, when you are almost at the end of your studies, we also help you with job application training. There's an recruiting event actually that's just happening today again. So we have many companies here at the university right now presenting them, and that really reflects also the demand and the recognition of our graduates from the the side of the companies around and international companies in this area and all over Germany. And we encourage you to stay in contact once you graduated with our international alumni network, and to stay in contact with each other too, so to network. Yeah, if you have any questions to the requirements or any specific question to the program, I'm very open to answer them now after in the Q&A session. I hope I could raise your interest. Yes, and I hope you like the idea to study in Offenburg. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. I think all the students attending today are convinced to apply to one of the programs. So I hope next year they will be already in Germany. So thank you again, Ms. Schindler, for the presentation and for your time. Now I would like to ask all the speakers to have this live Q&A, even though most of the questions, actually all the questions were answered in Q&A right now, up to now. The very first question was about work experience perspectives, and all the speakers addressed this question during their presentations, so I don't want to repeat this. However, there were two more questions that were asked frequently, more or less. The first is, and this applies to all the programs, if you wish to answer it, you please go ahead. The first is about the minimum number of credit points when applying to a master program, to your master programs, and also minimum level of GPA. If there is one, or if you are not the person to discuss it, maybe we can share the info email or where the students can find the information. I know that all the details are always on the page, and these pages are already shared in a chat, but if you would like to elaborate about this, you are more than welcome to do so.
Yes,
yeah.
If you want me to start with, we usually have a minimum, you have to have minimum credit points of 210, which is equivalent, if you don't have this credit point system, we count it as equivalent to 7 semesters of obligatory semesters of your study program in the bachelor degree. If you have less than that, it's not possible to study our program Renewable Energy and Data Engineering. In some of the other English taught master's degree programs Offenburg University offers, it's possible to have an additional semester if you have less than that, but not in this program Renewable Energy and Data Engineering. It's only a 3-semester program, and therefore you need this minimum amount of credit points of 210. We do not have a minimum GPA, grade point average, yes. So we always have, many applications from all over the world. So it depends a little bit also on the competition each year. But you should be, let's say, among the first third, among the first third of your batch when you graduated, in order to have a chance. So that's something that I can say from experience, more or less. But we do not only look at the GPA, each program also has different other criteria that they look at. So, for example, your engagement in the subject that you want to continue with in your master's, for example, if you already have practical training, or you focused on it in your specific in specific subjects during your bachelor. And they will also look at the grades of specific subjects. So the GPA is not the only criteria, definitely.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
For other speakers, would you like to?
Yes, maybe I can go ahead for the Göttingen University for the FES master program. Regarding the application, it's the same for us. It's not only the GPA that is counting, but there are some other skills that you can show during the application period, and this will count into the evaluation of the application documents. In general, you should bring a bachelor degree with at least 180 ECTS credits. Sometimes it depends a little bit on the university you come from. Sometimes we ask for not only a 6-semester bachelor degree, but in some cases also a 4 years bachelor degree. At the time of application, because it's quite early in time, at the point of application, you should have at least 150 ECTS credits.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, maybe I can continue.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that I showed it in my presentation, but I feel fine to repeat it. Of course, we say we expect a GPA of 2.5 or better, converted to the German system. This is the case in our study program, and as I showed you, we offer 2 programs, a 3-semester and a 4-semester program. So that means students are welcome with a bachelor degree with 210 credit points, and a focus on power engineering. And also we are open for applicants who have only a bachelor degree with 180 credit points. Mm-hmm. So it's nice. So you can choose.
Yeah, we had just this one specific case of 120 credit points, and I was also very surprised to have this. So, dear Malak, you got the answer, and right now we also get the GPA minimum, which was already answered by all speakers. If you joined us later, then maybe we can. If the video will be published on YouTube, you will have the access and you can rewatch the video. And before I let all of the speakers go and everyone go, because I'm a bit already over time, one last question will be about the previous degree. And we had a specific case of geoscience and in environment, and also there was a case of renewable energy bachelor. So is it possible to apply, or what are the specific fields, maybe not directly related to energy system, ecosystem, but maybe students have work experience? Can it be somehow an addition, or can this help the student to apply if this is the case?
So I will start again. For the Renewable Energy and Data Engineering program at Offenburg University, you should have studied something related to that field. So they will look at specific subjects like thermal, sorry, no, it doesn't. I'm not the specialist for that, but I know that they look at specific subjects that you usually have in this area, therefore you know, the name of the bachelor degree is not that important. This can be electrical engineering or mechanical engineering, computer science, or something related, or renewable energy or energy engineering. Important is that they have this basic knowledge in energy generation and conversion, and a little bit basic knowledge in IT too, because as I said, it's a combination of both, and therefore, we admit people coming from different bachelors, and the work experience can always be helpful if it's in this area, because this can be a plus at the time of the selection of the students that who will be admitted. So if you have work experience in that that in this area, it's definitely a benefit and a plus.
Thank you.
Okay, may I continue?
Sure, of course.
I receive several requests from students who are asking whether they can apply or not, who have a bachelor degree in mechanical engineering. And this is not, we expect a bachelor degree in electrical engineering because our program is it's an electrical engineering master. And therefore, if students have a mechanical engineer background, they will not understand the things we are talking about. So therefore, this is for us mandatory to have a bachelor degree in electrical engineering, similar, but mechanical engineering is not similar to electrical engineering.
Yeah, thank you. All right. There were several questions about like students want us to talk about bachelors, but right now there are master program as presented today. So if you are interested in bachelor programs, feel free to search them in our study finder database, and you can see the requirements there. You can always check the pages. So unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, this is not today's topic of discussion. And one interesting question about the responses. So I assume someone has decided to apply, and then what is the like when the answer is expected after the deadline, if you have this information? Or maybe they want to prepare their plans and schedule the year accordingly. How quick they can get a response or acceptance letter in the best situation.
Maybe I start?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, I can answer this question quickly because we have no I have no experience because this is the first time, and as I told you at the beginning of my presentation, we start in summer 2020, so therefore I cannot answer this question.
But they will try they can try their how to say, try to apply and then see the result and then share it with the others, or maybe some comment groups. For the others, would you like to engage?
Okay, I reply for Offenburg University again. I have to admit that it's a little bit difficult question. You're already able to apply right now. We have opened the application process already, and the application deadline is at the end of March. So it's quite a long time that you can apply, and you will get, you should get an answer or feedback at least from the coordinator of the program if your profile that you entered into our online application platform, because we are doing the whole application process ourselves. So that's quite easy. You should get a feedback from them within a month, more or less. But this is just the first feedback if you generally fit into the program, if your application is valid, if it's taken to the next stage. The final admission might still take until the next year, for example, June or something. It depends. I mean, if they are really sure that you will be among the first 10 people, you might get it faster, because then they are really sure that you are the one to choose and you will get an admission earlier. But if you're maybe among those who are not, if you are among those where still competition with other applications coming in, the decision takes longer because it will look at the other applications too, and then finally decide at the end when all the applications are together. And then they will choose the final, the people who are finally admitted. So it sometimes takes very long, and sometimes if you're on the waiting list, for example, and you might have to wait until June, so or even beginning of July sometimes, and you might still get in if somebody else denies the admission. So that's maybe not the answer that you are hoping for, but at least as long as you're in the selection process, you still have a chance.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe I can give the answer for FES at Göttingen University. In our presentation, the application deadlines were mentioned. So for the non-EU applicants, you should apply before 15th of March. So the application portal will be open from next week onwards. And yeah, it always depends on the number of applications, how much time it takes to go through it and to evaluate it. So yeah, as Mrs. Schindler told you for Offenburg, it's more or less the same for Göttingen here. We definitely will need some 6 to 8 weeks after the application deadline before we send out the admission letters. So the final result will be given out not before, let's say, end of April, usually for non-EU students. For the EU applicants, we have the application period between 1st of May and 15th of June. And so EU students will probably be informed until mid of July next year for the winter semester intake.
Yeah. Just a very short input from my side. I started at the University of Bremen. I applied at the end of January and got the response in the middle of July. So students, be patient. This happens, and then you should be prepared for this, because there are many very good students who are applying, and even, yeah, for example, for Göttingen, if you are a very outstanding candidate, you may get your results so soon. However, for University of Bremen, in my case, personally, our study program did not do it, so they were waiting for all this applications first, and then. But you can always ask. I kept emailing and asking if they received it, and so once I got the response that at least they got my application, I was already calm, and I knew that my application will be handled by professionals, and I'm very thankful for the German higher education to let me in. So yeah, be patient, because aside of application, there are so many things professors and admission commission has to do, so it might take time, and as a student, I always also understand professors, and yeah, it's just a normal thing. In Germany, if you want to schedule an appointment with a doctor, you have to call 3 months in advance. So there's no exception for the universities either. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Sibey, for your moderation, all the speakers, for your participation in presentation, in live Q&A. I will very quickly share my screen once again, one last time for today, and tell you that I hope, as I see, we answered all of your questions, which is really great. But if there are still questions, feel free to email us or reach us through our social media platforms. I hope you're familiar with them. If not, here is the contact information, our email. And other than that, I don't know, personally, I really enjoyed today's webinar. It was super interactive, very nice. I hope that you enjoyed it the same way, and it will be really nice to have some feedback from you. If it's critical, it's also fine. We will take into account your points, and we'll try to improve our further webinars. So Sibey has posted direct links, and it takes several seconds to give us a short review. Yeah, I hope to see you all, or some of you interested in our upcoming webinars. You can always register them on our page. And right now, I wish everyone a wonderful time of the day, depending where in the world you are. For the ones in Germany, have a nice evening already. And thanks again for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.